sometimes it's hard when you're in a relationship, whether it's with a friend, someone in your family, or a girlfriend or something like that. It's hard to see yourself when you're in it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to see the way you're acting, the way you're moving when you're in it. And then when you take a step back and you really hurting, you're like, damn, that's what I was doing.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today, man, we got a very special guest in the building. He just recently dropped his newest EP. He's a member of RichVi. Man, you're really out here doing this shit now, bro.
Doing it, man.
You've been doing it for a minute.
Long time, bro. Long time.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm an artist from the northwest suburbs of Chicago. My name's Adam. I go by Just Adam. Like you said, I'm part of RichVi.
Why the Just, bro? Like, where'd that come from?
It's funny you asked me that. I got two first names, right? So Adam Joseph. Whenever I would go places, people would be like, is it Adam? Is it Joseph? Like, it's just Adam. It's really no deeper than that. You know what I mean? It's just Adam. So a lot of people, they be coming up with rap names and shit. I'm like, I'm not going to be coming up with a rap name. It's just going to be my name, but I just added that little, you know what I'm saying? So
I want to know how many times you've been compared to G-Eazy, bro.
Oh my gosh, bro. Go look at my SoundCloud comments, bro. Go look at my SoundCloud comments.
Bro, you sound like him, bro.
I've heard that. I don't see it. I don't hear it, but I get that a lot.
You sound like him, and almost the topics are pretty similar. So,
really?
In my opinion, they're pretty
Okay.
similar, right? I went back and listened to, some of the older stuff.
For sure.
I also took that deep dive and actually listened to what you were saying. So
I appreciate that.
I was over here like,
Yeah.
man, this is Chicago G-Eazy for real, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the way you say Adam, bro, it's the same way he says Gerald, bro.
Maybe because I haven't really listened to him like that, so I don't quite understand the comparison. Maybe if I go listen to his stuff, I'd understand it, but I don't. Yeah.
Just listen to his second album.
Okay.
It's I think it's called When It's Dark Out.
Okay.
That's the only one I care
Is
about.
it cold?
Anyways, it's good. That's a
Okay,
good
all right,
album,
for sure.
especially near the end. Yeah,
sure.
that's a good one.
I get the Logic comparison a lot.
Logic
Yeah.
based off looks. I can see
Yeah.
based off looks. I don't
Yeah.
not off sound.
Yeah, I get the Logic. And I heard G-Eazy before, so you're not the only one.
Let's jump into it for real, right? Being a member of RichVi, you're surrounded by extremely talented individuals.
Super.
You got Flex, who signed to Def Jam. You got Gold Haze, got a platinum record. How many times platinum is it now? Like 3 times?
3. Yeah, he's going crazy. He got a whole lot more in the tuck too.
He's a crazy engineer too. Like, it's unfair.
It's a very powerful group, man. I think it's important to surround yourself with individuals that are like-minded, that have very similar goals to you, and are looking to accomplish the same things. And if you can put those people in one room together, in one space together, and you can get enough momentum, that momentum is eventually going to create inertia, and it's just going to be unstoppable. And I feel like that's kind of what we've created with this group that we got going. We're all in different places in our lives. We're all doing different things. P's got the podcast, Flex, Def Jam, Hayes, bringing Chicago together to make a crazy compilation album. Like, all doing very different things, but all got the same goal. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's super important about what we got going on.
Shit, yeah, we didn't even mention the ringleader, right? P, the architect.
Crazy, man. That's the guy right there, man. That's the guy.
Shout out P for multiple
P.
reasons, bro.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't want to sound like I'm doing too much, but
Nah,
I literally
bro.
look at this man like the Godfather after the shit that he's been able to put together, bro. Like, we were able to interview an NBA player off the fucking interview we did with him.
That's love, man. That's love.
That's
all
also
love.
why I wanted to see him today, because I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, like, I got to give you your flowers
Yeah.
for real.
You might
know
still
what I'm
pull
saying?
up.
Shit.
E, where you at? Come on.
But this ain't about Pierre. It's about you, right? Being a part of RichVi, again, you're surrounded by all these talented individuals. How have you seen their influence rub off on you?
We all have very similar goals. We all have very similar energy. And I think when you start off on this journey, I'm sure you can even relate just in the podcast world, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to do a lot of wrong shit. You're going to mess up along the way. You're going to burn bridges with people that you may not have wanted to. But I think at the end of the day, eventually when you learn from those mistakes, you're gonna end up meeting the people that you should meet in order to get to where you want to go. And I think that's where we're all at. I mean, we've all known each other for such a long time. Um, but I think right now, specifically, we're all in a very similar space mentally. And I think that's what brought us together. That's how God brought us together. We're all in a very similar time and we're all moving very intentionally and just focused on being the best that we can be. And I think that's what they bring out of me is the best. You know what I mean? And I think that's why we all move together with grace.
What do you feel like was the most important thing you had to go through to get to that point, though? Because, like you said, there's been trials and tribulations
That's a good question.
before it became a thing.
I can't pinpoint a certain moment in my life that was just so difficult that it's like this is too tough to overcome. I have a lot of stuff in my life that I've been through that's been very difficult for me, that's been very hard to overcome. But I think all of those moments were equally as important. Um, yeah, lot of moments in my life, man. Family stuff, relationship stuff. You got friends that you burn bridges with. And you don't want to sometimes, but all of those things are so necessary in order for you to get to the next point in your life. And I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure you've had similar experiences along this road where you gotta cut people off that you wish could stay. You wish so bad that they didn't maybe make that mistake that they made or they didn't do the right thing. You know what I mean? But it's a part of the growth. It's a part of the journey, and eventually you learn from it and you grow.
Don't hit too close to home today, bro.
Nah, man, you know how it
I'm going
goes,
through it
man.
right
You know
now.
how it goes. You going through it right
I'm
now?
going through it right now.
What you going through?
I'm going through it right now.
Talk about it, bro.
It's rough out here.
Is it?
It's rough out here right now.
Damn,
I
bro.
told you this week has been one of them weeks, bro.
Hey, it's a safe space, my boy. You can
was
talk
I
about
was
it.
ready to go to sleep.
Shit. Oh,
I've been
man.
trying to sleep all week, bro.
Yeah?
And I'm getting off topic, but I went out last week. I've been
Okay.
trying to sleep all week since that happened, but life will not let me
What
sleep,
happened?
bro. But going back to the fact that you said, right, you go through these things where you have to let people go that,
Yeah.
hey, I wish you could stay. I wish that everything that we ever worked towards, it worked out.
Yeah.
But at this moment, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
And realistically, what we're doing is you need to go do what you're doing, and I need to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your passion always was put first over everybody else?
That's a good question. And I do. I feel like I've put my music and the things that I've been working on first way too many times, like in times where I shouldn't have. And I think that's why it means so much to me because it's not just music. It's like I said, I've been through a lot of things and I put a lot of that in my music. And if I didn't put the music first, sometimes I feel like I'm not putting myself first. And I think it's so important to put ourselves first because if we're not the best version of ourselves, we can't be the best version for other people. You know what I'm saying? So if I feel like I'm not putting my best foot forward with music, then I'm probably gonna be lacking fulfillment inside because I'm like, damn, I'm not doing everything I can do. So how am I gonna be able to give my partner the best version of me? How am I gonna be able to give my mom, my brother the best version of me? Um, and like I said, I think that's what it comes down to is fulfillment. Um, not success, happiness, money, clothes, fulfillment, man. That feeling of fulfillment, like you're doing something right, is so important. And if you don't get that, you're not gonna be in the right mental space. So yeah, I've definitely put my art, my music before a lot of things when I shouldn't have.
And they shouldn't want that from you, right? They shouldn't even want you to come with a halfway effort.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people fail to realize that this creative shit, it's not just a hobby. It's not just something that we picked up and said, hey, I'm trying to get rich off this shit.
Yeah.
Again, like we were talking about off camera, this didn't start for the money.
Nah.
This started because it was an outlet. This started because it was a passion. It started because it was just something I always wanted to do.
Exactly.
And I had the opportunity to do it, and I found out I was good at it.
Yeah.
So it kept on growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
And that's why it's hard to bring somebody into that a lot of the times, because they show up and they say, "Oh, you do this, that's cool."
But they don't realize it's everything to you. They don't realize that that shit is literally all you have on the darkest days. Like, it gets deep, man. It gets real deep.
It's even something you talked about on like Waiting for Summer, and what's the one after that? Chicago.
Still in Chicago.
There's that bucket list. My girl's waiting on the ring, but
I got a bucket list to check before we get there, so she waiting on me, still waiting on me. But just like the album's coming soon, man. It gets, yeah. That's exactly what we talked about, man. Is you putting the craft and the things that you're doing before somebody in times when you know you shouldn't. Because I think, like, when you're in a relationship, man, you know you got to put that person first. And when you're putting other things before that person, in a lot of ways, it's selfish. You know what I mean? It's like, this person is giving me their all, but I can't give them my all because I'm trying to do this. But it's not just for me, it's for the both of us. But it's hard for them to see the end goal. So then you're like, where do I go? What do I do? You know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, you got to just trust your intuition and do what you feel is right. But it's a tough scenario, man.
when you walked into that relationship, when you both walked into that relationship, was she aware that this is who you are? This is who I am. Like, accept me for what it is.
For sure, bro. Yeah, and I think that's why it worked out for how long it did. Because that person was very supportive. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you're in a relationship with somebody, I think it's extremely important to for both of you to understand that, like, hey, I do this. Are you going to be supportive or not? If not, all right, you probably should part ways. You know what I'm saying? If that person's not going to be supportive of the creative journey that you're on, it's probably not going to work out. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the hard part sometimes. Again, going back to the understanding portion, is that sometimes you express exactly what's going on. You tell people, hey, this is me. And if you support it, you support it. If you don't, then like, here, now's your chance. Now's your chance to get out, because once you're in, like, now you're in for the ride.
But it's a long journey, man. And it's like, you know, at the end of the day, people end up, you know, you could be doing this for a long time until it goes and skyrockets. You know what I'm saying? And you could be with somebody and they might see themselves having a completely different kind of life after a while. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, can I keep doing this? Can I keep waiting? You know what I'm saying? And that's where that bar came from. It's like, I've been doing this for a long time. To be honest, I don't know when this so-called thing is gonna happen, whatever that thing is. And I couldn't give you a timeline. I couldn't tell you tomorrow it might happen. It's not like, it's like the lottery. That's what it feels like sometimes, even though it's not. Like, there's a lot of hard work that goes into this shit. But it do be feeling like the lottery, man. It's like, yo, when are they gonna call my number? You know what I mean? And you gotta respect when somebody can't sit there and just wait. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to respect that. It's like, okay, I get it.
How long did it take you to understand that, though?
How long did it take me to?
To understand, like, I get it. Like, you can't wait no more.
I don't think it's something you really understand on your end. I think it's on that person's end. It's like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you are if you're doing something and if your girl has a model a modeling opportunity or something, and she's talking about how she's gonna be on Vogue or something, like, just wait, this is gonna happen, and then we can go move to a different state and then do this and that. You're gonna be like, okay, but when? You know what I'm saying? Like, when are we gonna do that? And if you can't give them a date, then it's not unreasonable to be like, nah, this ain't for me. You know what I mean? Maybe that was a bad example, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
That was a bad example.
Yeah, that was a
'Cause
terrible example.
If
Yeah.
somebody's telling you you're gonna be in Vogue, I expect you to have a timeline.
I was just trying to flip the script. I don't know. You get what I'm saying, though. You get the picture. Yeah. All I was saying was, it's not unreasonable for somebody to be like, when is this gonna happen, or when are we gonna start moving in a different direction? And if you can't give them a time, then be like, all right, think it's time to part ways. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like this passion, this drive for, wanting the next big thing, that's what Rich Vision is? Because he described it as a lifestyle. He said it was more than just a group.
We're so passionate about this shit. It's not about the money. It's not about the cars. I was talking to Flex about this shit, and I was just like, man, bro, when I look at the impact that you have, it's not even about the music. It's about like people seeing you and being motivated and inspired to do something with their lives, bro. Like him signing a Def Jam is inspiring, not for me, not just for me, not just for Rich Vision, but to kids that grew up in the Plex. Like they see that and they're like, damn, like that could be me. And that's what's so important about this shit, man. It's just having impact on people, bro, and letting people know that they can do this shit. Like I had the opportunity to see a few people make it in this industry. I don't know if you're familiar with Smino and Monty Booker, but they used to record at Classic, man, and I used to go up there at like, I don't know, 12, 1 in the morning, and they just be recording.
You been around that long, bro?
Bro, long time, bro, long time. And seeing where they took it is just, it's so inspiring. And I see that same fire and Flex and Plug and Hayes, bro. And it's just beautiful to be around that energy because they don't care about the shit that comes with it. They don't care about the money and the cars. They care about being like, hey, I said I was gonna do this shit and I did it. And nobody can tell me shit.
So what is the embodiment of Rich Vision to you? What's the significance?
Rich Vision, man, is a collective that is out here very passionate about what they do. Um, we're all about living life in abundance, you know what I'm saying, bro? And just inspiring people, bro. Like, we're a family, we move like a family, and that's what it's all about. When you look at us, I would hope that you see a group of people that you're like, damn, I hope I could find friends like that. Because a lot of people don't have a group. I'm so blessed to be around them, bro. And I always tell them too, I'm like, man, I don't take for granted any of the time that you guys give me. When me and P did the skits for Buckets 3 and shit, when me and Hayes link up, when Flex send me the verse, I'm like, man, I don't take for granted any of the time that you guys give me because you guys inspire me and you don't have to be around me and vice versa. You know what I mean? So I would hope that anybody that looks at this group or this collective is like, damn, I hope I can find that group because I see what they're doing and I see the way they're moving and I want to move like that with my friend group.
Remember that one meme, the video where it's like, man, I just want to do her ass shit with my friends.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's us, bro. But we not doing hood rat shit. We doing major shit.
You're doing Rich Vision
We
shit.
doing major shit. Come on.
And I think that influence and, that aura is what comes off. Whenever you're around one of you, it just feels like there's some big shit that's about to happen.
It's that positivity, man. It's that glow. It's realizing that you can walk in a room and make a shift in energy, bro. Like when somebody walks in and they just feel it. Like they like, damn, bro, walking super confident. When Hayes walks into a room, you know Hayes in there. Like you could just tell. You like, damn, bro, Hayes just walked in. Like he's smiling, he dapping up everybody, bro. That's what it's all about, just shifting the energy, bro. Somebody might be having the worst day of their fucking life, and you could walk in and be like, bro, how you feeling? Like, you feeling good? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You could totally change their mindset for the rest of the day, for the rest of the month. Be like, damn, I wanna start moving like that. I wanna be happy. You know what I'm saying? And you can, bro. You just gotta flip the switch sometimes. It's that easy. It sounds so hard sometimes when you're stuck in your head and like you going through some shit right now, bro. But when you wake up tomorrow and you like, damn, I got my hands, I got my feet, I could walk. I'm fucking blessed. You know what I'm saying, bro? You just gotta flip that switch, and God gonna give you all the tools that you need to keep moving forward.
It's the mindset that you walk through life with.
It's powerful, bro.
If you wake up mad every day, you're gonna be fucking mad. If you wake up and you have this positive energy, you move optimistically, shit's gonna be positive. Things are gonna move in a positive direction.
Yeah.
And I like that that's what you brought to the table with P being on Buckets 3. Right? Throughout the whole project, you have him doing some commentary. You have him doing little skits. And A lot of it's motivational. My favorite was from Tough Times.
Okay.
It's easy to be lively when things are going your way, but who got enough heart, enough courage to fight when things aren't going your way?
Yeah.
Again, it's that mindset. It's easy to be happy. It's easy to do everything that you want to do when things are going well. When I always use the comparison of the social media. When I'm hitting 1 million and having thousands of followers every day, it's easy. I'm like, oh shit, and we're rolling. And when we're getting 200 views, 300 views on a reel, then of course I want to be like, man, fuck this shit. Like, why am I doing this
But
for
you gotta
real?
look at that and you gotta be like, nah, this that time to light the fire. Like this that time to go even harder. You know what I'm saying, bro? And I think that's like I said, when we go back to looking at the collective and the group, man, that's what we do. Even when times aren't, looking the best, we always support each other. And it's hard to find people that support you and keep a positive mentality even when things are going hard, man. It's very hard. But you find that group, you keep them around you, and you just keep pushing, bro. And I promise things gonna look up, man. So next time you look at those views and it's like, damn, how do we get to that next M? Just flip that switch. You know what I'm saying? Light that fire a little bit. Okay, we could go a little bit harder. Let me reach out to 10 more people. Let me reach, you know what I mean? Just do that little extra work instead of sitting there and dwelling on things. Cause I think that's what we do a lot nowadays is we dwell on shit. And man, living in the past is just we can't do it, bro. We can't live in the past, man. We gotta keep moving forward because it's like what we gonna look at yesterday's accomplishments. This just not how it works, bro. You know what I mean?
But let me ask you something real quick. What is it that's kept you going throughout this whole time? Right? You've seen Smino and Monty Booker push their way and make a name for themselves. They've gone far. Some people take that as motivation. Others would take it as like, damn, like what the fuck?
That could be me type shit.
Not that that could be me. That should have been me.
No, no, no. That is gonna be me.
No,
And
but that's what I'm saying. Like that's the two different mindsets, right?
yeah, yeah, and exactly. That's
It
where we're going with it.
go ahead.
When you see something happen right in front of your face, when you see somebody go from here to here, but you know it was slow steps, right? You look at your journey and you're like, damn, my steps are very similar to that person's steps. I'm going in the right direction. And so I know eventually it's going to get to that point. I know I've put in a ton of work. I've been doing this for 10 years, man. I've been doing this a long time. And if I didn't have that faith in myself, if I didn't believe in myself, I would have stopped a long time ago. And I also know I'm not doing this for anybody else but myself. You know what I mean? This is my outlet. This is the way that I express myself. This is the way I talk about things that I'm going through, things that other people have gone through. Um, it's how I've learned to communicate with myself in a lot of ways, give myself advice. I'm sure you look back at your interviews and you're like, damn, I was talking some shit on there. Like or you might even been saying something that you weren't living. And then you're like, damn, I have to really reconsider the way I'm moving right now because I'm talking about something that I'm not even doing, but I know I should be moving like that. You know what I'm saying? So this music shit is way deeper than just music, man. It's about setting your mind to something and going and doing it. Even when people think you can't, even when your family thinks you can't, even when, you know, quote unquote friends think you can't, all that, man. It's about proving yourself.
Often has that doubt from others impacted you?
When I look back, I'd like to think that it's had an impact on me, but I don't know if it really has because, I was doing this in high school, man. And you know how high school is, bro. Everybody's judging you for what you do. I put out a song. First song I ever put out is called Celebrate. Terrible, bro. I'm talking about, man, bro, this shit was so bad. I got the beat off SoundClick. We recorded this shit in my boy's basement. Um, some of the worst shit you've ever heard in your life, if I'm being real, you know what I mean? But um, I put that out, and that's my worst shit, right? So I can only get better from here. So all the judgment I got back then, all right, cool. We got that out the way. Now we just continuously getting better. the judgment don't mean shit when you getting better at something. You know what I mean? Back then it was like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work out. But it's like you gotta give yourself at least enough time to improve on something in order to figure out if it's for you or not. And I think I gave myself long enough to improve to get to a point where I realized I could do this at a very high level and compete with other people. Um, and even if I'm not competing, I could do it for myself. I listen to my music a lot. So if I'm not doing it for other people, I'm doing it for myself. You know what I'm saying? And um, once you start doing stuff for yourself, you realize the judgment doesn't matter.
When you said that you'd like to think that it has had an impact on you, I immediately, it made me draw my mind to the song February 14th, where you say, the ones you thought really loved you get to turning they back. Fuck the love, cause the hate get me where I'm at.
It's not saying fuck the love, but what it's saying is it is saying fuck the love in a bar, but I don't mean that. I don't mean that word for word. I mean the hate should be the fire that helps you get to where you need to go. So if you got people in your comments talking about, oh, this shit ass, this shit whack, this shit, this and that should light the fire under you to be like, okay, we're gonna get better. We're gonna go harder. And if it doesn't, you probably gonna fall back. You know what I mean? And I think in a lot of ways, the hate is what weaves the weak-minded people out. You know what I'm saying? People will just start something. People will just start playing the piano. Say they post a video of them playing the piano. People start throwing hate comments in. Uh, they don't like it. I'm gonna stop. Well, you're never gonna see where your potential was. You know what I mean? You're never gonna figure out how to play that symphony that you heard and you wanted to play. That's why you started playing. And if you let people get to you, man, you're not gonna end up doing shit with your life. Like if we being real, bro, like if I cared about what people thought, I would have stopped rapping. I would have never started rapping. You know what I mean? It's just like, and now I got this cold ass catalog, if you ask me, that I listen to, very frequently. So um I feel like I'm moving in the right direction, man. And yeah, that bar was really just meant towards use the hate as fire, as fuel, and forget the rest of the shit. Take the love with a grain of salt. Um, because if you get too attached to it, then that's the only feeling that you know, it's gonna be hard for you to move forward when you do get the hate. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna know what to do with it.
But this isn't the only song where it sounds like you have a chip on your shoulder.
Mm.
It seems like you're always trying to prove something to somebody.
I think it's myself, man. If we're being real, um, and maybe in some ways it's the world. You know what I mean, or the universe
What do you think it is you're trying to prove, though?
taking it all the way. And I think that's what I have to prove to myself is that I started something. I'm gonna finish that. You know what I mean? Um, the whole theme of buckets started around um, my love for basketball as a child, and I'm short. You know what I'm saying? You short, bro. You get it? Yeah, that's crazy, bro. You can't just you out here just shouting out short kings on the pod, bro. That's crazy. Going back to the whole buckets thing, man. Um, you get that opportunity, not that opportunity, but you go to a basketball trial, you don't make the team, man, and it's just like fuck. Like what was I doing wrong? What happened? You know what I mean? And you could either go back to the drawing board, you could just quit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like basketball may be my first love, um, but it wasn't what I was gonna prove myself in all the way. And I feel like music is that thing where I'm like, nah, I gotta take it all the way. I just gotta. It's for myself. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's an ego thing. Maybe it's deeper rooted than I know. But um, I can't see myself ever stopping this. Not just because I love it and it's um, my way of speaking to the world. But I gotta just be, man. I can't have kids and be like, nah. I started something and didn't finish it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I can't. I can't. How am I get into another relationship and and take that as far as I want to go when I haven't taken this one thing as far as I want it to go. You know what I mean? And it's like I said, it's a deep rooted battle within me. I think about this shit constantly, and there's a lot of doubt that comes with this shit too, man. Like I can't sit here and be like I've never doubted myself or I've never thought about stopping this shit because that shit, those thoughts constantly come up. When we talked about that shit, you were like, man, I was thinking about not even pulling up today because I'm just going through it. You know what I'm saying? And we have those waves, bro. It's not gonna be like smooth sailing. You know what I mean? If it was, everybody would be doing this shit. Everybody would have a podcast. Everybody would be rapping, which it damn near be feeling like everybody does. You know what I'm saying? But um, there's not a lot of people that can say they've had like 100 episodes of a podcast or they have 5, 6 albums out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's so important about just continuing on this journey, bro. Like, if you really want it, you got to prove it to yourself that you want it.
Do you feel like that if you were to quit, that it would be a disservice to everything that you've given up, everything you've sacrificed?
I think that if I were to ever stop doing this, it would there would be a extremely logical reason behind it. And other than that, there would be absolutely no way in hell that I'm gonna stop. You know what I mean? Like, I've tried to talk myself out of this shit many times, bro. I've tried, and it just don't work, bro. You just come back to it. You just come, and it might be an ego thing, man. But it's like I gotta prove it to myself. I gotta, man. It's just something so deeply rooted in me that's like I'm not gonna stop this until I get to where I know I should be at with this shit. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what that looks like for me. Um, but I just know I'm not there yet.
And I get that point because I know that like I'm not gonna stop until until I see certain things, until I see certain
Yeah,
achievements.
you get it.
And
Like,
I know like, damn, I did that.
yeah,
Realistically, like, I don't want to say none of this shit matters. Cause that's a disservice to what I have done. But everything that I have done, it's nothing really.
I get what you mean by that.
A couple million on a video on social media.
Yeah,
That's great. You know, if that doesn't happen, I am gonna be fucking mad.
yeah,
But realistically, what has it given me?
yeah.
Nothing to this point.
What do you mean it's giving you nothing to this point?
Physically tangible right now.
Okay, so things, so material things.
I guess material things.
I know for sure you've gotten messages from people like, damn, bro, this pod's really helping me.
I've only gotten that like once or twice.
Nah, bro.
I swear to you.
Nah,
Unless it's in the comments.
and maybe they haven't hit you or something, but like just watching your clips, bro, I can go to some of those and be like, damn. I went back to one today that was just super relatable about you talking about communication and how like not everybody is able to communicate and maybe people aren't sending you messages, but they're relating to the things that you're talking about, bro. And I think it's super important, man. I th- it gets deep, man. It gets deep. It's not just about the material things or like the tangible things or like seeing things happen. A lot of things are in motion when you can't see them, bro. And that's why it's hard to keep going because things are rolling, bro. Things right now are happening for you that you don't know about, that God's got going on. And you might not be able to see them unless you keep going another year from now. And that's what I realized with this journey, bro, is like, if you stop now, you're never gonna know what's a year or 2 years ahead of you. So there's no reason to stop.
Even talking about it now, like, right, I realize, the million views it's put me in certain rooms. But again, when I sit back and I think, it's like, I think that it's that fulfillment that I'm talking about. It's that fulfillment that, okay, I got a million views. It's something I talked about with Hot Rod. My bad, I keep jumping around. It's something I talked about with Hot Rod. When the 5 people that you care about see your shit and care about it, that feels 100 times better than when a million people see it and it's like they react to it. They say it relates to them, but I don't know you.
That's some real shit right there, bro. When those 5 people that you like waiting to like your shit, like it feel better than when 100 strangers like your shit.
I don't know you.
It's real, bro. That's real.
It's nothing against the people that,
No,
are
not at all.
watching and consuming, but shit,
Do you think that's you seeking validation from those people? Like, hey, I'm doing the right thing.
I don't even know. Because I don't even know what validation for myself looks like because I'm never happy about my accomplishments. Like I'm sitting here
Mm.
telling you that 1 million views doesn't matter. You know
Hmm.
how many people would fucking love 1 million views?
Yeah.
You know how many people would love 3 million views?
That's because you're looking for something deeper than that, bro. That lets me know that you're on the right path with this shit, bro. Because the million views shouldn't mean shit. Because what if the million views did mean a lot to you, and you were like, oh shit, I'm good. I'm good with this podcast. We hit the millie. Everybody go home. Let's turn the lights off. You know what I'm saying? It's like it can't be enough, bro. Like there's something, and maybe that's the issue I have too with my shit, bro. Where it's like I don't even know what it looks like. I don't even know what I'm looking for, what I'm reaching for, but I just know I haven't got there yet, and I know it's out there. And if you keep going, you're gonna find it eventually. And maybe we won't. Maybe we're gonna keep looking for something that's not even out there for us. You know what I'm saying? But if we feel like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, then at least we feel like we're on the right path in that process. You know what I mean?
That's another thing that I've said a lot is that people who don't have this shit, everybody has a hobby, everybody has something that they do. But if I didn't have this, I wouldn't really know me. I wouldn't really know what I like. Wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah,
Where do I look for that identity outside of this? And sometimes we attach it so much to who we are that it's hard to separate it. So again, that's where that relationship issue comes in, right? Because I'm this person so much and you want this tiny piece of this person that's right here. And you want to rip this tiny piece of this person and grow it to be what you want it to be.
there's a lot of humility that comes with continuing on this journey. Like whatever it is you do, and I don't know if we gonna call this the arts, like music, podcast, whatever it is. Like we'll call it the arts. There's a lot of humility that comes with this shit, bro. Like to be like I'm still rapping after 10 years, and I'm not on stage with Drake and J. Cole. There's a lot of humility that comes with that, bro. Like I don't know if in your relationship, you have conversations with your girl's parents, and they're like, "What do? You still doing a podcast? Oh, nice." It's hard to have those conversations, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of humility. I keep using that word, but it's the only word to describe it. It's a lot that comes with that, man. And it humbles you, and it forces you to look at yourself and be like, damn, I really do want this. Like no matter how it looks to anybody else, I really want this. So I have to keep going no matter how it looks.
I think that conversation more so happens with my parents. I've talked about my dad a lot. He can be an asshole. And he's not an asshole where like he's yeah, where he's telling me like, man, like grow the fuck up, but he's an asshole where he'll joke around with me. He's like, man, you making money yet? Like when you gonna start making money? And like, bro, trust me, if I wanted to make money, don't you think I would be making money? And there's steps to it, right? Because we could charge people. We could say, hey, it's X amount of dollars to come on here.
For sure.
Well, what am I gonna do? Water down my product for $500?
Yeah.
Then I'm doing an interview I don't even really want to do.
And you got to do the research.
I gotta act like I care.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
bigger fish to fry, bro. There's
For
gonna
sure,
be more
bro.
money to be
You're
made.
doing it the right way, bro. You're doing it the right way. And I respect it, man.
So in your chase,
Hmm.
this chase that you keep on going on,
Yeah.
there's this concept of running away that's reflected in your music often.
Okay.
And in the song Waiting for Summer, you say, you know, my mental ain't good, so I gotta dip out the crib right now.
Hmm.
But it's not just the house that you tend to leave. In your more recent music, you talk about the fact that, like, hey, I gotta get out of Chicago. What's up with this concept of running away? What do you like? What is it you want to get away from?
I never really saw that theme in my music, but now that you say that, there's something that resonates. Um, and I think in a lot of ways, I just never really felt like I had a solid, a solid foundation here. in Chicago. A lot of people that support my music and stuff were outside of Chicago. But over the last few years, specifically with Rich Vision, I feel like I've more so found that home and have been able to hone in on that a lot more. Um, just being able to see the community firsthand has been important for me because I'm an artist that stays in. I'm introverted. I write all my music in the crib. I record all my music in the crib. I don't be at the studio. Um, man, Hayes, Flex, Plug, they'll be the ones that take me out of that zone and be like, "No, we need to get in the studio with the even the Your Pain Is Mine sessions, bro." Um, People in those sessions knew me, but they didn't know me. You know what I mean? And it's so important to get out there and actually be active in the community in order to start building that foundation where you reside at. And I didn't realize that. I just thought like, why people should be gravitating towards this shit? Like this shit raw. You know what I mean? Um, but it's about zooming out, looking at something from a macro lens and being like, nah, damn, I actually need to put the work in. I actually need to step outside. I need to show face in the community and actually be outside in order for people to know what I'm doing and who I am. And that's something I learned with the Your Pain Is Mine sessions, man. Those were some of the coldest sessions ever because there's just so many creatives in one space, all doing different things. Singers, rappers, engineers, beat makers. It's just we need more of that, man. We need more of that in the city. We need more people like Hayes that bring more people together and are able to showcase their talents and just be like, hey, you need a verse, you need a feature, you know what I mean? That shit is so important in this because it helps blow all of us up. It helps the momentum of not just one person but the whole city.
That album's amazing. When he came here, he played it. Like that's how I found out about you. I wish the marketing would have just been so much more crazier.
Yeah. What would you have liked him to do?
I'm not a marketing genius,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
You're the marketer.
I am.
That's your
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
But
I would agree. Hayes, we still need a couple videos from that project.
is there even a video from the project?
Yeah, he did the Eyes on You.
But that was beforehand, right?
I think he's got some more stuff in the tuck though.
That's all I'm saying, right? I just want there to be more marketing behind that project because that project is so amazing, bro.
Whole album incredible, bro.
I know that project was so amazing and I know the music should speak for itself, but that's just not the day and age we live in.
It's exhausting, man. Like to be an artist that cares so much about your work and the projects that you put together. Someone like Hayes, man, that puts this amazing project together. It's exhausting, bro. All these studio sessions, making sure the mixes are right, getting the artwork, getting videos, bro. It's so exhausting, and it's like I understand. I understand why labels come into play, bro, because there's only so much that one person can do to show the world the music that you have, and we run into these. I know I personally I run into this problem like every project where it's like I've put so much work into the music. I've shot a few videos, and then it's like I'm burnt out, bro. What do I do? Where do I go? Like, who can I call for advice? Like, but there's you got to figure it out yourself, bro. And it's tough because we got the internet, we got our phones, we got social media, but it can be so exhausting just being on there, bro, that it's just like, all right, I made this project. I feel like I'm done. Just take the music. Like, just be happy with the music. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody big finds out about it and puts this project on or puts this on a playlist, cool. But I think I think as independent artists, we get so fucking exhausted with just the creation of it that it's so hard to even think about promoting it afterwards. And we're doing ourselves a disjustice for sure because just as much time should go into that. All I'm saying is I think that's the thought process behind when an independent artist releases a project. It's like, damn, I thought I did what I was supposed to do by just making the music. But nah, there's a whole lot more that has to go into it.
And it's good to give that insight, right? Because a lot of people don't know that. Like, I understand that. And I don't want to, feel like it's a diss or a disservice to, what Hayes was able to do. Because, like I said, it's an amazing project. I talked to him when he was here, when he played the album. I'm like, bro, like, you You need the promotion. You need the right rollout and do that shit right, and the cards will fall because the production, the mastering, the mixing, the verses, right? Like the verses are the last thing I think about because his production and his just sequencing and
It's
everything.
amazing, bro. We were just talking about this in a group chat too the other day, man. Just about how timeless that project is, man. It's amazing, and there's a lot more to come, bro. There's so many songs in those sessions that were made. He got a whole. He probably got another 2 albums worth of songs.
A whole nother mix of artists too. That's crazy, bro.
Crazy, bro.
But anyways, let's get back to it, right? Your pain is yours. You tend to run away.
Yeah, running away from the pain.
At least that's the theme that I picked up, right? Maybe it wasn't a theme that you were, aware of, but it just seemed like there's certain things you face head on, but there was something that you were trying to leave behind or something got left behind and you just kind of kept moving.
I think a lot of that stems from me thinking if I go somewhere else, things will change or things would be different. But I think unless you change the things that you're doing, it's not gonna change at all. It coincides with promoting a project. Like if I'm putting out a project, I move to a different state. It's not gonna change the promotion. It's not gonna change more people hearing it just because I moved to a different state. I'm still in the crib making the verses. I'm still, you know, I still have the same patterns going on. So I think in a lot of ways it's me psyching myself out, thinking like, hey, if I run away from this shit, if I go to a different state, if I go to a different city, things will be different. When in reality, it wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that I've probably been coming to terms with as of recently.
What was it you were trying to change?
You know what? I think we all have a lot of different things that we deal with in life. And we think if we move away, that those problems will go away as well, or those feelings that we have towards those problems will go away as well, whether it's relationships, whether it's family, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? Those feelings don't disappear. They, if anything, will probably get worse. You know what I mean? Because you didn't face it head on, and now you're so far away from them that you can't face it head on. So now you're probably thinking about it even more. And like I said, I think that's just something that I've had to come to terms with. You just made me think about it just now, and that's what's so great about these kind of conversations, bro. Is it provokes thoughts that you haven't really thought about or you haven't really tapped into before.
What is it you're thinking about, bro? What's coming to mind?
Just the whole process of moving, man. The whole idea of moving away from your problems, man. That's it's not possible to move away from your problems. You got to face them head on.
What's the main problem that you had to face head on that you wanted to run away from?
I think there's a lot of stuff. Um, Family being a big one. I never had like the greatest relationship with my family, and I think in a lot of ways it was because of myself, even though I thought it was them. I think sometimes when we don't embrace the love that we're getting from people, we push it away because it feels good almost. You're like, ah man, I'm cool on that. You know what I mean? And when you take a step back and realize like, nah, damn, I need that love. You know what I mean? It feels good to embrace it. It just feels good to be able to be like, shit, I was being selfish. You know what I mean? And I did that a lot of my life with my family, man, where I just kept pushing away and pushing away.
Because it felt good?
I don't know if it felt good, but I don't think I knew any better. And I think in my most I think in my recent breakup, it made me realize how important it is to embrace the love that you're getting. You know what I'm saying? Because people do love you. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you accept it, it feels right. You know what I'm saying? But if you keep pushing it away, you're just gonna get further and further away from those people. And that just ends up putting you in a place where you can't embrace any type of love. And then it's just like, what kind of person am I to not be able to love?
Do you think that that inability to accept that love was almost a reaction from the fear of losing the people that were around you? Because in UC Freestyle, you say, my biggest fear for most of my life has been losing you.
In that instance, I was talking about my mom. Um, And that's something that gets real deep because depression is something that she's battled for a long time in her life. And throughout my childhood, I always feared losing her um, due to her depression. I remember I would come home from school and go check in her room and be like, "She all right? She good? She still alive?" Um, and I don't think she would even mind me talking about this because it's something that's so relatable and people need to talk about it. Me talking about it has helped me grow as a person and help understand my emotions and just grow closer with her. But yeah, it's something that she's dealt with for a long time. And when you realize that worrying about something or being anxious about something isn't going to fix it, you learn to kind of let that go. And I think that's super important. Worrying is never going to make it any better. So, as hard as it is to let go of those feelings of being anxious and worried about somebody, you got to let go because it's not going to change anything. It's just going to move you backwards. And you need to move forwards because that's what's going to help them in the long run. Me being a better me is what's going to help my mom. If I sit here and worry about her and I'm not able to set a better example, she's not going to be able to move forward too. Um, so that's something that I've recognized with my relationship with my mom.
So do you feel like that fear had created this inability to accept love and feel like it's okay to be close because you had that fear that the closest person to you, the person that loves you the most, could be gone at any moment?
I think that fear of losing my mom created a lot of anxiety in my life and made me worry to a point, made me worry way more than the average person until I realized that I needed to let that go. And I think my inability to embrace love probably stemmed from the way my dad would show me love, which wasn't really showing any love. You know what I mean? And you could probably relate to that in some ways. Um, but when you have a father that, you know, doesn't give you a hug or doesn't say I love you until you 20 plus, that shit affects you, man. And maybe there were times where he said that or did those things to show affection, and I just don't remember. But I couldn't pinpoint a time. And I think when you get older and you look at that, it definitely affects your ability to um, take in that love and be like, okay, it's okay to be like, I love you. It's okay to call your friends and talk about how you feel. Um, it's okay to hug your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like all this shit, man. That's just it makes it tough for sure.
Because it's so scarce. Yeah, that's why you can't remember it. Like, I'm sure, again, I don't want to make it seem like my dad's an asshole. Like, my dad's not an asshole.
I
Like,
get that. I totally get you.
he cares. He genuinely does care, but it also stems from how their parents were. If their parents didn't show them love, it's not like they're gonna know any better.
I don't make excuses, man. That's one of my things. It's like, okay, he didn't have a parent to show him love, but you need to figure it out then. I figured it out.
But look at the time we grow up in. Look at the time they grew up in, right?
Talk to me.
It's different. It's not the same. Back then, when they were growing up, I don't know how old your dad is. How old's your dad?
60s.
Growing up, they didn't grow up in a generation where it's okay to talk about your feelings and talk about mental health and just show genuine love. Think about like the 90s, right? The 90s was all the gang shit. Like, it was cool to be tough. It's not cool to be tough no more.
Just a balance of both. Where it's like there's there's people who are like super masculine, there's people who are not masculine at all, and then there's like a middle now. And I think that middle is super important because it gives men the ability to be vulnerable and talk about things that they're going through without feeling like they're not him still. You know what I'm saying, bro? And men need that balance, bro. Men need that balance. Just not just because they need to be able to be vulnerable, but because it helps with learning how to communicate. Like being able to tell you how I feel or tell my dad how I feel about certain things or tell my mom about certain things, helps the communication. And I think if you're able to communicate with your parents, it's gonna help you communicate with your partner later on in life. And that's something that took me a long time to learn. I never had a I was never good at communicating with my parents how I felt because I was never taught how to communicate with them or tell them how I felt. So once I learned how to do those things, I realized what I was doing wrong in my previous relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it's all a learning game, man. You learn and you move forward.
Would you run away?
Would I run away from what?
The problem instead of
Nah, bro. We
communicating.
ain't running from nothing, bro. We ain't running from nothing, man.
But that's the question, right? Instead of communicating.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
That's a theme, bro. There's
Yeah.
a theme.
Nah, you get it, man. Yeah, you making me understand the theme right now. And man, over the last year, I feel like there's just a crazy switch that flipped for me, bro, where I stopped running.
That communication is so fucking important, bro.
Communication is everything with your friends, your family, your partner. It's literally everything, bro. You can't move forward without it.
What was the breaking point that made you realize, like, I need to start doing this?
To be honest, probably my breakup, bro. When you are in a relationship and you realize that, like, shutting down is not doing anything to help you or help the other person, and really just hurting the person, you got to make a choice whether you're going to change or you're going to stay in that same place and be that same person. And I don't know about you, bro, but I never want to be the same person stuck in the same place for, over a year doing the same shit, man. Like I'm constantly trying to improve and get better at whatever it is, music, being a better friend. We make mistakes, man. We fuck up, you know. We say the wrong things sometimes, we do the wrong things, but as long as you can learn and grow from it, that's what this life's all about.
I got a quick question. Was Summer your ex's name?
Nah, nah, nah,
Okay,
nah.
I felt like that was a double entendre a little
Nah,
bit.
that'd be cool. But Summer was waiting on Summer is like waiting on something good to happen. You It's almost like you're waiting for change, but the change ain't coming unless you make it happen. So that's what waiting on Summer was all about. Was a lot of it did have to do with my relationship and me waiting for something to happen in that relationship, but I wasn't doing anything to change and make that happen, to make that change. You know what I mean? I wasn't. Sometimes it's hard when you're in a relationship, whether it's with a friend, someone in your family, or a girlfriend or something like that. It's hard to see yourself when you're in it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to see the way you're acting, the way you're moving when you're in it. And then when you take a step back and you really hurting, you're like, damn, that's what I was doing. Or that's what I was, you know what I mean? That's what I said wrong. Or I could have done something a little bit different here. And if that shit don't make you want to change, I don't know what does, bro. Like people that be in these toxic relationships and then go to the next toxic relationship, it's like, damn, y'all living like that. Y'all, we not getting better out here. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? We don't want to grow, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
I just needed that music, bro. Like for real. When I was listening, I was sitting there. I'm like, damn, that shit hit.
I made that album while I was going through it, bro. I'm talking about like day after, day after. I'm making this album. I'm writing these songs like as this is happening, bro. That was one of the hardest. That's probably the hardest album I ever. It wasn't hard to write, but it was exhausting to write, bro. It was like emotionally exhausting to write that album. Like I was going through a lot. I was going through a lot, bro. Because when you're in a long term relationship and you realize that it's not just the relationship with that person, but the relationship with your mom and your dad and your brother, it's like, damn, I've been fucking up communicating with all these people. You know what I'm saying? I was going through a lot, bro. I was going through a lot during that time. And we go back to music being the outlet, man. It's way deeper than just music, bro. It's way deeper. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of strength that goes into turning feelings into something that the world can also relate to.
It's rough out here, bro.
I think in a lot of ways though too, bro, communication, we're speaking English right now, but even in English, there's a whole lot of different ways to speak this language. And learning to communicate can be different for everybody, bro. And it's just all about finding that balance with two people and being able to communicate with that person. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just need to get your fucking heart broken in order to learn that, like, this is something that I need to learn. If somebody's not willing to change for you and learn how to communicate with you got to respect yourself. And it fucking hurts, man. It hurts like a bitch. Like, for real. I went through it, man. I was the one on the other end. I wasn't able to communicate. You gotta let go sometimes, man. That person needs to learn for themselves. They need to see it firsthand. Like, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna learn, and the next person you're gonna have a wonderful relationship with because you put the effort in to try to learn that language. And yeah, man, you gotta just see it as a blessing because you could sit there and be like, damn, I'm gonna miss this person. For sure, you're gonna miss that person, bro. I'm sure you still got love for that person. Same way I got love for that person. You know what I mean? But you gotta let that person spread their wings and you gotta let them find their way on their own time.
All about timing.
Timing brought us here today, you know?
I know at the end of the day it'll be okay. Life doesn't end at that.
Pain is like hate, bro. Let it be fire, bro. Let it be that fire. I said on the intro waiting on summer, I said something about all pistons firing now. Like damn, this is what this did to me. Like it turned me up, you know what I'm saying? Made me want to learn how to communicate, made me want to be a better rapper, maybe want to go get a new job, get a raise, you know, like do all these things, bro. And you can sit and dwell on that shit, but the longer you sit and dwell, is the longer it's gonna hold you back.
There's more than one relationship that we have, and you talked about it earlier, right? Friendships, relationships with parents. That relationship with your parents, I think it's something that's important to highlight,
Hmm.
especially with your mom, because there's a lot that went on there that really shaped you into who you had become.
For sure.
I don't know how much you still deal with anxiety. Do you feel like that fear of loss, it created an appreciation for life or more so a fear of death?
I don't quite understand the idea of fearing death. I know a lot of people fear death. I never really feared it because, in a lot of ways, me dealing with that anxiety of losing my mom felt like I had already lost my mom. And so, once I realized that she's not gone and I could just cherish these moments and try my best to provide an example, that was all I needed to be like, all right, we here, we present. You know what I'm saying? Like let's just cherish today. And that's probably why I don't have a lot of anxiety today. Is just because I'm able to be a lot more present with myself um, because of the things that I saw. I saw her living in the past a lot. And when you realize when you're present, that's when everything will start going your way. And that's when God will start giving you the things that you need and the tools that you need to keep moving forward. You just want to be as present as possible. You know what I mean? And it's hard to look at that. It took me years to to look at that situation and be like, I can't worry anymore. I just can't worry about this anymore as much as I'd like to, as much as maybe she would want me to worry. Maybe she doesn't want me to worry. You just can't, man. It's not gonna do anything for you. And I think when I stopped worrying is when things started to get better too, just in general. I think a lot of anxiety left her. I think she started to figure things out more. It's probably because I was doing better. You know what I'm saying? So it all coincides. I feel like the universe just does things for a reason, man.
Do you feel like that constant fear had created a strain on your guys' relationship?
I think the constant fear of me losing my mom was because of how much I loved her and how much I still do love her. She's like my rock. Um my mom's like my ride or die. She's been there through it all with me. Anything I ever need to talk to her about, she's there for me. Um she's she's the most kind person you'll ever meet. She'll give you the shirt off her back. You know what I mean? She's been through a lot of shit in her life. And I got a lot of respect for my mom because of the things that she's been through. So um, I don't think anything could push me away from my mom. We've been through a lot together.
I like that. All these assumptions that I have made,
Yeah,
they're the opposite of that.
yeah,
And it's not like assumptions in a bad way, but me as the writer,
yeah.
I have to anticipate what the person's gonna say to
Mm-hmm.
get to the next part.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And I feel like everything that I've thrown is like the opposite.
The glass always half full, bro, in every situation. And that's just how I move nowadays, bro. I can't look at that glass as like it's always got to be half full, bro, cuz there's so much to look forward to in this life, and there's so many positive things that when a bad thing happens, I know it's for the better being, and I know it's for a good reason. I can't look back at something and be like, "Damn, man, it could have been like this. We could have done this." It's just like, nah, bro, it happened for a reason. Let's keep it moving. It's all gonna be good at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like I talked about earlier, man. We're sitting down. I'm able to walk, bro. I'm blessed. I can go grab food if I want. Like there's so many different things I could do right now. I'm blessed. I can't complain about shit, bro.
Do you think that mindset cleared up a little bit more once you started that fitness journey?
I've been on my fitness journey for a long time. I just recently have started showcasing it. Um, just to try to inspire people because I know it inspired me when I see people doing it. Um, but yeah, there's definitely something that started to click when I completely changed my regimen of just waking up, man. Like I wake up real fucking early and I get to it, and it's not because I think it's cool. It's because it's what's best for me, and it makes me the most optimal for my day. Might not be for everybody, you know. Waking up at 4:30 and running and then going to the gym is not what everybody wants to do, and it's not gonna be the most optimal for everybody out there, but I enjoy doing it and it helps me focus and it helps me stay on track for the things that I need to do. And it creates a lot of discipline in my life.
When you're in a healthy physical state, your mental state's even clearer.
Bro,
And
come on.
it 100% helps you just navigate life better.
Yeah.
I gotta get back on my fitness shit for
And
real.
you will too, bro. I'm gonna be texting you, bro. Hey, we in the gym today, bro.
I told P, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna need to get some tips from him.
Man, bro, I got you, bro. I got you. Anything you need. Me and Hayes always hold each other accountable, man, because he's been going crazy in the gym too. And I just love to see it, bro. It's so weird how it works, bro. Like you start shedding weight or you start looking better, and then the confidence coincides too, and you start moving different, and you start believing in yourself more, and it's just so cool to see, bro. And that's why it's important for me to, spread that message as well because I know what it can do for people. I know what it can do to your mindset, and I know how the things you do in the gym can translate to business and work. And once you figure that shit out, bro, it's like you feel unstoppable.
How have you seen it pushed you to move differently?
You get in the gym every single day, no excuse to not be in a studio every day. No excuse not to be making money every day. There's just no fucking excuse, bro. Like, if I can wake up at 4:30 and go on a run in fucking 10-degree weather, I know I can take my ass home and rap a 16. Like, that shit is easy. You know what I mean? And so it just translates to everything, bro. It's hard to explain. You just got to be in it. Once you get in it, it's damn near impossible to take yourself out of it because of the way you feel. You feel invincible, bro. Like, can't nobody tell me shit. And it's not an ego thing. You just feel good about yourself.
Once again, it puts you in a better mind state. When you're in a better physical state, your mind state is that smoke, that fog, clear. It allows you to cut certain people out of your life that don't serve you anymore, that aren't good for you. You don't put up with toxic relations anymore. And that's what it is.
That's a big thing too, man. Once you start getting on this journey of self-improvement and you really start changing the things you do on a daily basis, you cut a lot of people out of your life. And it's hard because it gets lonely on this journey, bro. It gets lonely when you got to sit in the crib by yourself and you don't know what to do, but you know you're doing the right thing by just being alone. It's tough.
Were you afraid to be alone?
Hell yeah, bro. That shit is scary when you're by yourself with, especially when you're in a relationship for a long time, bro, and you just got nobody to turn to. You don't know how to communicate, so you're not talking to your family. You don't know how to talk to your friends, but you leaning on them. Man, being alone will teach you everything you need to know about yourself and how to communicate, man. I remember um, when I went through my breakup, P was like one of the first person I called, bro. He just, I talked to a lot of my homies for like over a couple hours on the phone, and it was just, it just felt good because I never did that before. I've never been put in a situation where I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I gotta call somebody. I gotta call my friend. Let me just call, see what they gotta say, make sure, you know what I'm saying, I'm going down the right path right now. And I also think it's important to just let your homies know what you're going through, bro. Like, you probably got that friend that they going through some shit and they don't call you, text you. Feels like shit, bro. And maybe it's a selfish thing, like, damn, why isn't bro answering my text or telling me what's going on? But it's like, you want to be there for them. You know what I'm saying? You want to be around and be able to help them out. So it's important to be able to tell your friends and communicate what you're going through.
Going back to it, communication is key. Whether that communication is to somebody that you're, romantically involved with, or it's a friend, it's a parent.
Yeah,
Without that communication, you just suffer in silence.
for sure.
And that's what happens to a lot of people. That's why, that's why we see a lot of unfortunate things happen.
Yeah.
People suffer in silence because they don't know how to communicate. They weren't taught to.
Do you feel like you're going through that right now?
Nah, hell no. I'm not that sad.
Because earlier you said you didn't want to pull up today, or like you thought about it. And that lets me know that you wanted to be alone.
I didn't have the energy to put the thought into creating a thoughtful outline.
I see. Yeah.
I think what helped was I listened to the music
Okay.
and I was like, oh, like, we got
We
something.
can make this interesting.
We
Yeah,
got
yeah.
one.
I got you.
But I'm not going to do something just to do it. I'm going to do something to make sure that it's good and that it works. So that's why I was like, man, I don't even know if I got the energy to.
I respect that too, bro. Just being able to tell yourself, I don't have the energy right now. I respect that. And it's weird you say that because this last week I've been in a space where I've been in kind of a fog too. And I even thought about hitting you like, man, I don't even know if I can give you everything right now. I don't know if I could give you that quality interview you're looking for. And maybe I still didn't. Maybe I'm still in that fog, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool that you got the self-awareness to think about that because not a lot of people do. A lot of people just go into this shit and be like, I will knock this shit out. You know what I mean? Another one. Like,
It turned out great, bro.
for sure.
I appreciate you sliding through.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you having me. Sad Boy Radio, man. I'm sure I'll be back.
Man, plug whatever you need to plug real quick.
Let's see what we got, man. Shout out Rich Vision. We didn't talk too much about my engineer, but shout out Darian. If you don't know Darian, he's the man behind the music. He's mixed all of my projects from day one, and that's my brother, part of Rich Vision as well. And yeah, Buckets 3 out now, waiting on summer. Go stream Just Adam.
Make sure you guys go ahead, check out Just Adam. Make sure you guys go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.